Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Jordan Di Natale about the Fear Street trilogy, which is on Netflix, taking over our summer in July this year. Jordan, welcome to Popternative.
Hey, thanks for having me.
It's exciting. I mean, it's interesting because in different capacities, different roles, you know, this is a trilogy. You are in all three of these movies. I mean, what's the process like when you're casted for something like this? Because it might be a bit different, right? Because it's three different movies. They might be a little bit kind of related to each other, but they're three different films, Jordan.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Casting was interesting. It was kind of wild. When Lee reached out to me, she wasn't really sure what she wanted for Ruby, for the killer. I mean, she knew, you know, she had a good idea, but she was like, just play with it, you know, just have fun with it and give me, you know, what you think. And so that was really fun to just kind of like play around with what this killer might be like.
Absolutely. So 1994 dropped on Friday. People are losing their minds like I thought they would. I mean, we all grew up reading the books and it was a big deal, and Netflix is doing a great job promoting it. 78 is next in 1666. I mean, we got to talk about it. Not really a spoiler. I mean, I'm just really happy that you came on this show and we're chatting, and there's gonna be no singing.
Yeah. I promise I won't sing.
Just a little terrifying in that movie, eh, Jordan? Holy smokes.
Yeah, like the singing was scary for me as well. I would definitely get it stuck in my head and like dream about it a little bit. So
what was that scene like with Fred? Because that was a big scene in the film, right? Where it's like the reveal. We see you, you're singing, you're gonna kill everyone. Like, what was that going on? What was that like?
that scene was so much fun. I mean, it was crazy. There was so much going on because it was so technical, because I had to like, you know, climb on top of him and all this stuff was going on. But it was cool because it was the first time I got to like, you know, show my knife,
yeah,
my razor, and which was fun because I was like practicing, you know, flicking it out a bunch of times. So that was wild. That was
how
great.
long? I mean, give or take, maybe you don't know or remember because you guys shot this movie like 2 years ago, right? I was talking to Julia like 2 years ago, so it's been quite a bit, and now it's out. Was it long to dress up, like makeup and hair and makeup and everything for that role?
Yes, yeah. It was like 2 hours. It was a lot. It was even sometimes a little more, like 2.5 hours. And it was awesome. I mean, the makeup, I mean, the scars, like the prosthetics, It was so cool to have that done. The FX artists were just amazing. It was wild.
I know, it's crazy. Now, what I find very interesting about this, and I wanted to bring it up, is, you know, these are horror movies on Netflix. You know, they have a little bit of everything. But this is not your first kind of time working in horror. I mean, a lot of people recognize you from the Crypt TV series The Birch, which is on Facebook Watch. I mean, were you hoping that you were going to be able to work on it, like on multiple horror projects, or did it kind of just happen and you're just like, great, it is what it is?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of just happened. Actually, funny enough, when I was younger, I did a play where I played like a 13-year-old psychopath. And so I just keep finding myself in these roles. But it's crazy because like I'm kind of terrified of the scary genre. So
that is weird, right?
Yeah.
Especially like people are going to watch 1994. You're like probably one of the scariest characters in the whole freaking film. And you're scared of the movies. That's a little strange, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a little strange. Like when I was reading the scripts, I had to like, I would have to like read them during the daytime because I couldn't be in my hotel room by myself, like reading them at night because I would freak myself out.
What has been, so let's let the movie's out. So let's talk about like what's been the reception from your family and friends of you like getting casted for the role? First of all, what was that like?
It's been so much fun. Like my family thinks it's so cool that I'm a killer. I don't know if it's the reaction you would expect, but they're just like, especially my dad. He's like, "Oh yeah," he's like bragging about how I'm killing people.
Are you gonna prank your family with the songs? Have you thought about that? Is that getting brought up? I mean, it's such a it's your scene basically, right? Like you're in the movies like here and there, but that's like such a big reveal, right?
Yeah. Honestly, I have been thinking about pranking my brother. I hope he doesn't watch this because when I was younger, he used to prank me with red rum from The Shining. He would
Yes.
like sing it
Oh my God.
outside my door. And like torment me. So I might be doing some pranks for sure.
Have you had a chance to talk to the cast and crew so far, like about the premiere? I mean, I know they had the actual like red carpet premiere. It was crazy to actually see it happen again. But like, have you talked to everyone? Like, what's it been like just talking to everyone that it's finally out?
Yeah, everyone's just so excited. I talked a little bit to Kiana and it's just like we're just like it's finally here, you know. It's been a long time coming and it was so cool to finally see it.
You're part of the Fear Street family, but of course you're part of the Netflix family. The trilogy is like dropping on Netflix. How does it feel to be part of the Netflix family, Jordan?
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. I love Netflix. I've had it ever since like its beginning, you know, like we would get the DVDs, like we were so excited like back when they did that and it's a great platform. I love how the films are coming out once a week, so it's kind of like everyone could get around it and get together and just like talk about it, kind of really create a community around it. So it's really cool.
Did you have a chance to thoroughly kind of go over the scripts of the film like before you started shooting the films?
Yeah, I did. I was able to go over them. Yeah, which was really great because I was trying to work out like, you know, what the mystery was and how Ruby fit into the mystery and everything. And so that was really great to have that opportunity.
So did you notice, and this is very hard to do in horror, and I think this is why, in my opinion personally, why the movies are doing so well on social media. I see all the buzz and everything. Everyone's making edits and fan theories and everything. It's crazy. You have this kind of blend of like the new age fans of horror and the old school horror movie fans as well. And the script, I feel like really, like, did you notice that in the script? Like, wow, this pays homage to old school horror, but it also has kind of new elements. Did you capture that in the scripts at all?
Yeah, I definitely did. It was like when I was reading the script, it was kind of hard for me to tell like what the final outcome was going to be. It's always kind of hard to tell. But now that I see the movies, it's like it's just so great to see the tribute to the old school horror and the new. And I mean, with the soundtrack and everything, it's amazing.
But you're seeing on social media, you know, it's one of those things where it's kind of like a vortex, right? Like the movies drop and it's just kind of nonstop. Fear Street, Fear Street, Fear Street, right?
Yeah.
Have you been noticing that? Did you notice that at all, or a spike on your social media, like on Friday, like when the movie came out?
Oh yeah, I have noticed it, which was really cool to see. There's been like I've seen, you know, people have been like cutting clips together and like, you know, like sending them to me, like fan clips and stuff like
The
that.
fan clips are hot right now. Like that's a big thing. The edits of the fan clips. It's interesting.
They're so good.
Yeah, but it's like we're in the age of like fan edits and fan clips. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it's it's amazing. What was your best? What's the best part in your opinion about being part of the Fear Street trilogy? Is there something that stands out that you enjoy the most out of it? Is it the overall experience? What's that like for you?
Yeah, no, I think it's just the overall experience. Like the idea that I was like a part of this like wild ride. It's like, you know, like 3 movies. It's kind of like a one of a kind thing, you know, that I'm a part of. So that's been the coolest thing, and just like seeing the reactions from the fans and everything has been so cool. Definitely my favorite part.
We can only speak like in regards to this about like 1994 because that's the only one that's out right now. But you know, they do a very good job, and I'm sure. Have you heard this? Like I talked to Julie about this. She agrees with me. You know, a blend of like Scream, Stranger Things, Halloween, and Goonies. Like that's a pretty good sum up of what to expect with the Fear Street trilogy.
Absolutely, definitely. I mean, you know what I did last summer? Like all those films, which are films that I watched when I was younger, like with my hands over my eyes, like peeking because I was so scared. And all those films are just definitely a shout out.
But what was like the first So obviously, you know, we know how it works. You audition, you go in and everything. Like, did you audition for Ruby? Like, what was the audition process like for you?
Yeah, I auditioned for a couple of different characters
Okay.
actually, which was fun because I was kind of like already familiar with the scripts and
Right.
everything. And so I had seen Ruby in the script and I was like, oh, she's cool. And then yeah, and then I sent in a tape and I actually used a like a metal nail file as my razor in my audition because it just like really got me into character. So that was cool to just to come up with that and try to figure out how to make it like creepy and fun and everything.
Absolutely. Now, this and The Birch are both kind of horror shows and horror movies, but you obviously play different characters in both of these. Does the mindset change a little bit for you, obviously, as an actor, or do you go into it like, oh, okay, we're making a horror show, we're making a horror movie? Or like, what's that kind of like, the mindset going into Fear Street,
Yeah,
preparation-wise?
yeah, I think the mindset changed a little bit,
Yeah.
just because the characters were so totally different. But the mindset it was the same in the fact that like I always try to like find like the truth about the character. You know, like she's not maybe for me she's not just a killer because you know she has a pretty intense backstory. Ruby does. So that was cool to like work that out. And the same with the Birch, I worked that out with my character too. I will say like my character playlists were similar, like the music I would use to get into character.
Yes. So
Yeah.
you're okay. So I've heard that. So you're really into that, right? Like the music before going in.
Yes, I do. I
Okay.
love listening to the music. Yeah, it just really gets me in that headspace and just like gets me out of my own head and into the character's head, you know?
Oh, absolutely. It though the soundtrack for 1994 was so good as well. Like
Yeah.
it was amazing. Like some of the bands that they chose, like so good.
Amazing. I know. Right when I heard the first opening, I was like, "Whoa, this is gonna be good." Like I knew like right off the bat just from hearing it.
I know it's amazing. Jordan, I wanted to thank you so much for coming on Popternative. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
So it's exciting because it's basically a Fear Street summer because, you know, 1994 dropped, 1978 next week, and then 1666 the week after. It's pretty crazy. And they're all available on Netflix.
Yep, Summer of Fear, right?
I know, it's amazing. And if people want to go back, they could watch you on The Birch on Crypt TV and Facebook Watch as well, right?
Yes, exactly. Yep, that's on Facebook Watch, and that'll all 10 episodes are out, so they could totally check that out.
Absolutely. Where can they follow you on social media to keep update with everything?
Awesome. Yeah, yeah. My Instagram is just my name, Jordan D. Natale.
Amazing. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Until next time, it's Jordan D. Natale from the Fear Street Trilogy on Netflix and PD Beats signing off.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.